DNA of a Millionaire on making money. Step 1. Use the law of supply and demand to your advantage. Most of us are familiar with the law of supply and demand. The more there is of something, the cheaper it is, and conversely, the rarer the product or service, the more expensive it is. However, we don't really apply the law of supply and demand to our own lives, particularly in our careers. For example, if you're aspiring to do something that many other people want to do, so much so that they do it for free or as a hobby, then it'll be far more challenging for you to make money doing it. On the other hand, if you do something that most people do not want to do, or if you get very good at doing something most people do not want to do at all, well, then you can make a whole lot of money. Find an occupation that pays well and invest in the education and training to get that job. Look for employers that offer competitive salaries and ample opportunity for advancement. If your goal is to make enough money to retire early, prioritize earning potential over job satisfaction. Since you plan on getting out of the rat race early anyway, consider the types of jobs that pay extraordinarily well in exchange for hard work. Step number 2, recognize that time is money. This is a critical piece of advice, attributed to Benjamin Franklin, who was an accomplished American inventor, journalist, printer, diplomat, and statesman, the ultimate multitasker. Your ability to manage your time and stop procrastinating is a critical ingredient to your ability to make money. Whether you have a job or are self-employed, keep track of what you're spending your time on. Ask yourself, which of these activities makes the most money, and which of them are a waste of time? Do more of the former and less of the later. Simple as that. Step number 3, jack up your prices. If you're providing a skill, service, or product that is in high demand and low supply, and you're making the most of your time, you should be making good money. Unfortunately, there are many people who are too humble or fearful to the demand to get paid accordingly. It's the pushovers in life who get taken advantage of and exploited. So if you think you might be one of them, learn how to stop becoming a people pleaser. If you work for someone else, ask for a pay raise or get a promotion. And if none of these plans pan out, revisit your career options. If you're self-employed, the first thing to do is make sure that your customers and clients pay up on time. This alone can substantially improve your income. Check your prices, rates against those of your competitors. Are you undercutting them? Why? If you're providing a superior product or service, you should be getting at least the average. Unless your profitability depends on mass production, in which case you're probably making a lot of money and listening to me is not doing that much of a help. Number 4, being proactive. Do you remember Murphy's Law? Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Make plans complete with as many calculations as possible. Then anticipate anything that can go wrong. Then make a contingency plan or a backup for each scenario. Don't leave anything to luck. If you're writing a business plan, for example, do your best to estimate when you'll break even. Then multiply that time frame by 3 to get an even more realistic date. And after you have identified all costs, add 20% to that for costs that will come up that you didn't anticipate. Your best defense against Murphy's Law is to assume the worst. And number 5, redefine your wealth. In studies of millionaires, people are surprised to learn that most millionaires aren't doctors or lawyers or corporate leaders with big houses and fancy cars. They're people who religiously live below their means and invest their surplus into assets rather than liabilities. Are you taking the above steps to make more money? Keep in mind that increased income does not necessarily equal increased wealth. Most people who flaunt their wealth actually have a low net worth because their debt to asset ratio is high. In other words, they owe a whole lot more than they actually have. All of the previous steps I've outlined are aggressive strategies for making money, but you'll never get anywhere if you have a hole in your pocket. Step number 6, last but not least, know the difference between an asset and a liability. I can't say that enough. The dividing line is whether it puts money in your pocket or takes it out. As much as you love your home, and I sure know I love my home, for instance, it's a liability rather than an asset because you put more money into it than you get out of it. Unless you're flipping it or renting it, whether your money you save, invested in assets such as stocks, mutual funds, patents, copyright works, anything that generates interest or royalties. Eventually, you might get to the point where your assets are doing work for you, and all you have to do is sit there and make some money. With these simple steps, you have the DNA of a millionaire, and you'll be making money more ways than one.